What's going on, YouTube? I am Ben Hoover, joined by Joey Carrion, and today, am I getting this right that you think that Tyreek Hill is about to fall off in fantasy football?
I guess you could say that.
Wow, that's bold. I'm all in on Tyreek to the Dolphins, so let's get into it. If you guys like what you see in today's video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. But Joey, please tell me why so low on Tyreek Hill? One of the best wide receivers we've seen in the NFL over the last 5 years.
Tyreek Hill for me is being a tad overdrafted, and while I do believe that obviously Tyreek Hill is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, my question that I have and that I would like you to answer is, do you believe Tua will be able to support two top 12 wide receivers in 2022? Because Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both being drafted among the top 12 wide receivers in best ball. And one of them isn't going to hit. So is it going to be Waddle? Is it going to be Tyreek Hill? Is it going to be both that hit? I don't know. I would like you to make the case for Tyreek Hill in fantasy.
I mean, first of all, I think the case for Tyreek Hill makes itself because he is not, directly correlated to Patrick Mahomes for his success. We saw that when he put up, almost 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns with Alex Smith prior to Patrick Mahomes. And even if we look at Tua as a downside case, he's probably comparable to Alex Smith if you're thinking of him as a game manager type who's really just a function of the team and the coaching, which just got a massive increase, by the way, for the Dolphins with Mike McDaniel. So I don't know. I don't think that Tyreek Hill is dependent on quote unquote elite quarterback play. I think that you look at the Dolphins as a whole and they have a top 5 pass catching core in the league with Tyreek Hill, with Jalen Waddle, with Mike Gesicki, and then even some decent ancillary guys and like Cedric Wilson, Preston Williams, like guys that are actual NFL players as options deep down the depth chart. So I like Tua. I think that the case that you were just making, that they have Tyreek and they have Jalen Waddle both going inside the top 15 on drafters right now for best ball drafts, just strengthens the case that Tua, if anything, should be being drafted higher. I'm super bullish on this Dolphins offense. I think that, this is the second best team in the AFC East, and the Dolphins are going to continue to evolve. And I think Tua takes a massive step forward in his second year. This was an offense last year that was so built around dinking and dunking and short passes. Mike McDaniel comes in, looks at that, says, what do I need to fix? We need to get this deep ball passing going. We need to get it efficient because Tua is an efficient deep ball passer, number 1 in the league last year in deep ball completion percentage. So what do we do? How do we get him, what he needs to let that skill set flourish? Well, we go get the best deep threat in the NFL in Tyreek Hill. So I think the coaching staff is putting him in a position to win. And, I'm expecting big things out of Tua this year.
Yeah, obviously the concern with Tua is whether or not he's a good quarterback in the NFL. And for me, I don't think he has shown much in terms of that in being a good quarterback at the NFL level. I was high on Tua coming out of Alabama, and I think he's really just been a disappointment. But obviously they haven't had, the greatest teams and the greatest players around Tua. And, I'm all for coaches going and making moves to surround your young quarterback with talent because the quarterback can't do everything himself. So, I agree with going out and getting a player like Tyreek Hill for sure. That definitely makes sense just from a team perspective. From a fantasy perspective, in best ball specifically, I just don't think the ceiling games that we're accustomed to from Tyreek Hill will be there with Tua, albeit, yeah, Tua was one of the more accurate deep pass throwers in the NFL last year. I think that's just a pretty small sample size. I think for the majority of the season, he was just a dink and dunk quarterback, obviously with Jalen Waddle kind of just being that low A dot threat, PPR threat. And you brought up Alex Smith, and I just kind of want to dispute that a little bit. So in 2 seasons with Alex Smith, 2 full seasons, so you have a pretty good sample size. Tyreek Hill had 4 games with 25 plus PPR points, right? And in best ball, we're looking for those ceiling games, especially out of these top end wide receivers that we're taking in the second and third round. So 4 games with 25 plus PPR for Tyreek Hill with Alex Smith in the 2 years, in the first 2 years of Tyreek Hill's career. With Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill had 18 25-plus point games. So I think you're kind of undervaluing the major quarterback downgrade that is Patrick Mahomes to Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is not going to be a guy that is going to get Tyreek Hill, multiple 25, 30-plus point games throughout the season. Maybe once or twice, but I just, A, don't think he's good enough to do it, and B, I don't think there is going to be enough, I just don't think there is going to be enough volume in that passing offense for both Tyreek Hill to get there and Jalen Waddle to get there, and then Mike Gesicki, Cedric Wilson, Chase Edmonds, who they went out signed, Raheem Mostert, who's familiar with the offense. 1 or 2 of these guys is going to bust, and I think Tyreek Hill at a high-end second-round ADP is probably the easiest fade in this offense, just for all the reasons that I've listed. I still think he's a great player. I just don't think the situation is that great for fantasy success and what we're accustomed to from Tyreek Hill. So that is why I'm out on Tyreek Hill in 2022.
I hear you, but I feel like you could look at some of these other guys in the same range and make the same sort of comparisons. It's not like A.J. Brown, who's going right behind him, is attached to an elite quarterback. It's not like, some of the running backs are on great teams, Kamara, Swift, etc. Deebo Samuel could very well be on the New York Jets in the coming year. Even receivers who are going ahead of him, like Devontae Adams, is attached to Derek Carr. We don't seem worried about him in the first round.
Hey, you didn't ask me about Devontae Adams. Maybe that's another video.
Maybe that's a subject for another time. But I look at these guys still as being safer than their running back counterparts in essentially every round of the draft.
I mean, you compared it to Fournette or whatever. Fournette's gonna see guaranteed 15 touches a game, so I think that is a little bit more valuable. And obviously Fournette showed that he has pass catching upside, but it is an even year, so we do have to fade Fournette in fantasy.
The other thing is that I don't think it's necessarily fair to look at Alex Smith, Tyreek Hill, even though I know I brought that up. He was coming into the league as a 5th round pick, right? They didn't know they had to prioritize him. They didn't know he was one of the best players in the league when he first entered. Obviously, he's coming in now as a top paid, NFL superstar. So it's going to be a clear point to get him the ball as much as possible. So I don't know. I think the volume is a little bit different. He's not going to finish this year with 61 receptions like he did in his rookie season. So I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, the touchdown upside is definitely lower. He's probably not going to have another 15 touchdown year like he did in 2020 for the Chiefs, or a 12 touchdown year like he did in 2018. So we'll just have to see. But he's got the type of talent that I think is almost situation proof. I think that he's that kind of guy that can just make plays no matter what, no matter who's throwing him the ball. And say what you will about Tua, but accuracy is not his issue.
Yeah, I mean, everything else is his issue besides that. And yeah, I mean, no, I agree with your general thesis behind Tyreek Hill. I just think that the quarterback downgrade is obviously a huge concern for just his upside and his overall ceiling. And, yeah, he's one of the more talented wide receivers, a superstar wide receiver. But like you say, and you say it a lot, opportunity means everything, even more than talent. And personally, I just don't see a lot of opportunity there this year for Tyreek Hill to have those explosion games that we're accustomed to. So for that reason, I mean, I definitely prefer the receivers going above him. And I will say he's in that range where it's he's in that range. Just the last thing I'll say, where it's like you can't take him above like Diggs or Jamar Chase or whoever like going above him, but like it feels bad to take him behind like Mike Evans and AJ Brown and T Higgins and even Waddle on the same offense. So that's kind of like the problem that I'm having with drafts, because it's like, especially if you're drafting in the middle of the second round, it's like,
I mean,
he's obviously better than those guys.
Higher on, Kamara, Swift,
And
right?
yeah, I usually do look to those pass catching running backs at the end of the second round for sure.
I don't know, man. I think we pretty much hammered both sides of that argument. Let us know in the comments below which side of the fence you guys lie on. How much is the downgrade from Mahomes to Tua going to impact Tyreek Hill's fantasy value for this upcoming season? Drop a like on the video, sub to the channel if you want more content. We have plans to drop a ton more of these videos. And yeah, have a nice day, guys.